Michael Crouch, I'm very lucky to have this time with you. People talk a lot about innovation. They're going to be innovative, they believe in innovation. I'm not sure many people know what it means. What does the word innovation mean to you?
David, in our case, it meant survival in a business sense. But generally, I think innovation is an attitude of mind. And I think it's very important that everybody carries that forward in their back of their mind, so to speak. That they don't accept the status quo, that they realise that there is a need to keep on improving. That improvement might lead to inventions, but that's a separate story. But as long as that attitude prevails, and I think that people leave this great university with that attitude, I think that would be wonderful.
And you, of all people, when I look at the history of you in business, have shown that attitude. Was it something you learned, or was it something innate in you?
I was perhaps told that you know, our products must have a feature that our opposition didn't have. I later called that a unique selling benefit, and I abbreviated that down to USBs, and I always talk about USBs because wherever we are in life, firstly, every individual, when I address them more than one, every individual is unique. And as a unique person, there's no one like him in the world. He's unique. And if he can carry that thought of being unique and having his own selling proposition, how do I convey the fact that I am special, that I am unique? Because everyone is.
I understand, Michael, how important innovation is, but it must have taken quite a lot of guts to be innovative. I had a look at your history, and you came from a family that had perhaps a business which was quite well established, and you decided to go into something much more innovative. And then over the years you continued to be innovative and at the forefront of that particular industry. Wasn't it a bit dangerous? Wasn't it a bit terrifying to actually take a bold step that you took each time?
Probably. I think they're best summed up by one of your associates here in this university, Len Ainsworth, now 91, but a wonderful man. And 20 or 30 years ago I said, Len, how did you do all this? Just living dangerously, Michael, he said. Of course we live dangerously. I'm so pleased you're chairman of the ANZ. I wish you'd been there when I needed you.
We won't go into that.
No, we won't.
Michael, in terms of innovation, do you see it as a team effort, or are people working on their own generally? I mean, is the genius someone who comes up with an idea alone, or is a genius someone who can not only come up with the idea, but work with others to make it better?
Two very good questions, Chancellor. Thank you. Everybody is an innovator and should be an innovator. I think that's very, very important. But secondly, some people have the ability to put that innovation into practice, to make greater things of it, but it's usually teamwork. I always felt in a company that there were just 3 characteristics, and I loved the letter P. And I think P stands for everything that's important in a company, even if it's down to the company policy, you know. But I thought those three important qualities were always passion, people, and profitability. And passion, if there's passion in a company, then people react to that passion. And that, in a sense, creates a sense of teamwork. So I don't know who comes up with various ideas, but if you've got good leaders, and you do have good leaders in a company, those leaders collect those innovative thoughts, and somebody has the ability to make a decision, usually senior management or a team of senior managers, and make the decision that that's the pathway we'll go. Some of it in the small stage is entrepreneurial, but then that entrepreneurial skill is taken over, I think, by a group of people within a corporation.
And tell me, Michael, we've been so lucky, and we really at the University of New South Wales believe we are, to be allowed by you to create the Michael Crouch Innovation Centre. You have come up with the concept together with us. What's your dream for that centre? What would you regard as success for the Innovation Centre?
Very simply, David, I think that if students can be aware of the need to innovate, and that's why I'm pleased that the centre is established on a prominent pathway through the university. And it might be a student who never walks into that innovation centre but is conscious of the need to innovate. May I say that when I first had the concept of asking or suggesting the chair of innovation, and we sat down with the deans at the time, the past dean and the incoming dean, which is Greg Whitred is the outgoing dean, and the incoming dean was Alec Cameron. We sat down and we considered just the thoughts that were going through my mind. I can tell you the origin of those thoughts. But that resulted in the chair of innovation, but it got muddled up with the chair of entrepreneurship and innovation. And I won't go down that street, but there are two different qualities. I'm only concerned with innovation, not necessarily whether the innovators become entrepreneurs or not. But if we as a university can think that everybody in this university at some stage of their time are conscious and reminded of the need to innovate, then I believe that that centre will have fulfilled a wonderful function and influence.
Do you think that the Innovation Centre will appeal to only one part of the university, the engineers or whatever, or is your dream that all faculties should facilitate within this place and that all people from different walks of life should come together to innovate?
The latter would be wonderful, but my primary level of satisfaction is the spreading of the need to influence. What bodies actually, or what disciplines, or what faculties actually make use of that space, that's not for me to decide. I think some people will voluntarily be attracted towards it, but I think it's just the influence.
Do you think Australians are innovators?
Oh yes, we are. Of course we're all innovators. It's just the level of where we take that innovation. But if we look at primary producers, and after all, this country rests on primary production up until after 1900s. But you know, our international harvester, I think it was well, they're all on the internet anyway, under Australian inventions. If one looks them up, one is completely astonished. I was astonished as a young boy that antibiotics didn't come alive until after Florey discovered penicillin. And really, you couldn't get penicillin from a doctor or a chemist until the end of the war. I think about 1947. Penicillin was only discovered in 1939 with reacting on mice, and it had to go through that transition. But most of the people at the war, when they were wounded, they weren't cured of infections from antibiotics, which we just accept for common colds today. So we look at the crease in our suits. It's an Australian invention to put a permanent crease in them. Mine, unfortunately, haven't all got permanent creases. I wish they did. But the bionic ear, the plastic frames in our glasses, just personal things, all discovered and invented by a wide variety of Australians.
Tell me, Michael, we have 52,000 students at our university, and somewhere in there's quite a number of young Michael Crouchers, brilliant minds starting off on a journey. What would be your message to them as they make their way through the University of New South Wales in relation to innovation?
Begins with the letter P, perseverance.
A good answer.
Profitability will come later. David, I think you and the Vice-Chancellor have been extremely innovative in this university, because you've taken this university to the people of Sydney, out into the community. Most universities stay within their quadrangle, in my opinion, but the University of New South Wales doesn't. And I think the great quality, actually, of your period as Chancellor and that of the Vice-Chancellor during his period of office has been the taking of this university out to meet the city, and it has maintained and grown a huge influence within the city of Sydney and of course New South Wales and Australia.
Michael, I want to tell you, we are incredibly honoured to have your name on this, because in my opinion, if you look at your history and your contribution to business and innovation, we couldn't have picked a better name.
Well, you flatter me, David. I can't think of the right letter beginning with P, but there's one letter that I have got beginning with P, and that's a privilege. And for me to sit down and chat with a man who is as busy as you are and chat in this relaxed way, I can only say it's a great privilege to chat with the Chancellor of the University of New South Wales.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.